congratulations on Code 8, crushing it on Netflix right now. I think the last I saw, it was at least top 5, but now it's number 1? The number 1 movie on Netflix right now?
Number 1 movie on Netflix in the US, the UK. It's unbelievable. I'm floored by this whole thing. I was just talking to Jeff Chan, who directed it. He's one of my best friends, and Steven, my cousin, and it's just mind-blowing. Like we always knew we wanted to go to Netflix, just because we wanted as many eyeballs on the project as possible. And
the timing of all of this, I mean, you could never have planned something like that to unfold.
And I mean, look, I would rather the world was in a great place right now and people could go outside, but selfishly, it was pretty convenient for us to have dropped at this time. The other thing was, I mean, this has been a long process. We shot a short film, we raised money on Indiegogo, we shot the movie, we came back the next summer for reshoots, and then we had a ton of visual effects to do with a small visual effects house who did everything at cost because they're friends of ours and they cared about what they were making. And, this is like 5 years in the making too. So to get lucky with the release date was really sweet. And to actually have people really respond to the movie and climb the charts like that is a little overwhelming and really, really awesome.
It's been a passion project for you and Steven for so long. Have you gotten a chance to talk to him recently and do some virtual celebrating?
Yeah, we were talking the last couple of days, and I mean, it would be fun to be able to see each other and enjoy it. But we've been FaceTiming a little, and just kind of, it doesn't quite feel real yet for all of us. We've been waiting so long to finally hit, and then it happened very quickly. I mean, it only premiered Saturday. So it's only been a couple days now, and it's just getting, reading my Twitter and stuff and having to hit the translate button because it's from these messages are from all over the world is really, really cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so what's the latest with the spin-off on Quibi? When can we expect the next phase?
Well, I mean, a lot of it will depend on the state of the world, but we're hard at work in pre-production and writing the scripts. So far, so good. Quibi's really excited about it. Jeff and Chris, who wrote the movie, brought on a couple writers to help out with the Quibi side of things. And, all systems go currently. Hopefully we can shoot once everything is back to normal and social distancing isn't as aggressive. But right now it's just a little too early to tell.
Yeah, day by day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and fans would obviously love to see you and Steven team up again. Any new ideas you've talked about for the future? Would you want to try a genre outside the sci-fi or superhero space?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, right now it's all systems go on Quibi. Steven is hopefully shooting his new show, Heels for Stars. And fingers crossed, we hopefully get a season 2 on Upload, but we have to premiere first. So, a few things are up in the air. But I mean, working with friends and family is the dream, and so far so good. So hopefully we get to keep doing it.
Yeah, and speaking of family, you're both obviously part of the Arrowverse and the CW family, and sadly there was a recent loss from The Flash, Logan. I just wanted to know if you'd been in touch with his family or how you reacted to that news.
No, I didn't know his family. I saw the news through Grant's Instagram page, and I just couldn't imagine. It's devastating. From everything that I know, he was a really sweet kid and really well liked and very professional. But I mean, I couldn't imagine with having a son now. It's awful, and I just hope that his family's okay and getting through it. And I mean, it would just be devastating.
No, absolutely. And such sad news. And I think everyone in this time is sort of learning what really matters and kind of reprioritizing right now. And, you've been staying busy and spending a lot of time with your family at home, but it seems like you've got a really good routine down. You're staying mindful and focused. All your workouts. Any other tips that you can share for people who are still kind of trying to put this all together?
I mean, it's tough, but, almost try and think of it as a, a vacation. The sad thing is, my wife and I are very lucky that, we have the privilege to be able to stay home. But, a lot of people can't. And as important as it is, there are some people that, are really kind of fighting for their lives right now, financially. I wouldn't want to try and give any advice to people that are in a harder position than I am. So I just wish everybody the best, and hopefully this is over sooner than later.
I can see we're getting a look at that fresh quarantine cut, courtesy of Italia. She looked at Graham now. She was pretty pleased with the results. She did a great job.
She did a good job. She had, like thinning shears, and I was like, all right, worst case, we'll just shave it into a mohawk if it doesn't go well, and it'll be your fault.
Well, are you going to return the favor when she needs a trim? Because there might be a little more at stake there.
She mentioned it. We'll see. I don't know.
We're all taking things day by day right now.
She's cut her own bangs so many times and cries every time she does it that I don't want to be the guy that does that to her.
So how is everything at home right now? As first-time parents with a 6-month-old, this must be an especially profound time for you.
Yeah, he turned 7 months yesterday.
Wow.
It's, it's exhausting, but it's awesome. It gives us something to do, and we've made some silly videos with him. We posted one with Mission Impossible. We did the scene where Leonardo DiCaprio is drawing Kate Winslet, but we couldn't post that one because it's all his face. But our close friends and family saw that one. So the poor kid is really earning his stay in the house. And Italia's mom came to town right before everything got bad. So we have some extra hands, which is nice.
Yeah, well, and of course, some of the candid moments too. I saw the fart as well, and I'm still laughing. I mean, amazing.
Fart's like a grown man. It's really impressive.
I can see your.
I mean, he's a big kid. He's at his 6-month appointment, he was 98th percentile in length and 100th percentile in weight. And we were just kind of like, what is 100th percentile? I mean, he's the bar?
Like he's as big as it gets? How can that be?
Yeah.
Well, you've definitely kept the content coming, and it's the perfect time to have a new show dropping. We have Upload coming to Amazon May 1st. The trailer looks amazing, and so of the moment, and not quite like anything we've seen from you before, right?
Yeah, I mean, we shot the pilot in January of 2018, and we shot the first season February, March, April 2019. Greg Daniels, who created Parks and Recreation, The Office, and who is an absolute genius, thought of the concept 30 years ago when he was working on Saturday Night Live. And nobody was willing to take a swing on it yet because it was too out there. And then with shows like Black Mirror and The Good Place, everybody was interested in it now. The only downside to that is some of the stuff from the show has actually happened in real life since the show since we shot the show. And it looks like we're mimicking, the real world, whereas Greg is actually a genius and just kind of predicts these things to happen.
Yeah, like I had this idea back in the 80s, but I couldn't tell the story yet.
But the show's really fun and really weird. I binged the 10 episodes a little while ago, and I rewatched them with my wife and my mother-in-law just before I started doing interviews so that I could, kind of get a refresher. And it is unlike anything else on TV or streaming services right now, which I think is so important because there's so much content out there you need to stand out. And I mean, really, I just give all the credit to Greg because he's just so smart and so funny and so out there. So I think people will really dig it.
And, with Greg at the helm, we know the laughs are going to be coming, the guy behind The Office and Parks and Rec. But like you'd mentioned, there's some obvious comparisons to Black Mirror and The Good Place. Walk us through the tone of the show and how it's going to kind of strike that balance between comedy and making a statement on our current climate.
Have you seen any episodes?
I have not yet, but I'm going to get there.
So it's I think the show, I think pilots are always difficult in comedies because you have so much information to give people, and you also want to make them laugh. And especially in a sci-fi comedy, you have to world build. So the first episode is a lot of here's everything, here's how it's going to be, here are the characters, here's the world it takes place in. I think from there, episode 2 is very funny and weird. Episode 3 is my funeral, which is like really kind of sets the tone for the show, because I've never seen that kind of scene in another show, especially a comedy.
In a very grim way, but
it's a very odd, futuristic. Like, the show is so funny and so weird, but also you can look at it as so dark in some ways too, because some of it feels like it could be next week, not 10 years from now or 20 years from now. But there's also these beautiful moments too, like Owen Daniels, Greg Daniels' son, who's only 18 or 19 and wrote one of the episodes, is also a genius. And in one of the episodes, he wrote this line where I'm with Nora, my angel on the show, my like customer service rep in the digital afterlife. I'm showing her dad around, and he talks to me, and I tell him about how I used to be a bit of a douche, and I've kind of grown up since I've been here, and I say it doesn't matter if we last for 1,000 years here, it's going to feel short when it's over and we're out of time with our friends. Wow. And I was like, this is beautiful. I'm like, wow. You're 18 and you're writing this? And I think it's so true. A lot of the things in this show kind of parallel, or not parallel, but kind of show you what it's like to live, even though my character has to essentially die to figure that out.
Yeah, and making that choice. There's a real existential question at the heart of this story. And just watching the trailer, you can't help but wonder, what would I choose?
Yeah. I think a lot of people would, and I think this will be a question that kind of starts to come out. Maybe not in my lifetime, but maybe my son's lifetime. Is like, how long can you live comfortably? I was reading a magazine that says the first person that will live to see 200 has already been born yet, or has already been born. Or something.
I've heard that too. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. So, and what kind of toll is that going to have on the planet, and just in the in everyday life? You can't retire at 65 if you're going to live to 200.
No.
Anyway, there's the show is very interesting and asks some really smart questions and kind of shows you how gross some things about life and technology are, but also how beautiful they are. In episode 2 or 3, you meet the 2 gigs, which are people on a restricted data plan in the digital afterlife. So, they don't have what everyone else has. And that's life and capitalism, and it's gross, but it's real. And Greg's so good at riding that fine line of showing you and asking questions while still making things so enjoyable and so fun, and developing these characters and these relationships that you want to keep watching.
And bringing in a talking dog right when we need it too, to sort of like some needed levity here and there.
Sci-fi, you need a little something.
Yeah, exactly. And so your character, Nathan, has a girlfriend who he maybe likes enough, but doesn't seem to be into for the long haul. And of course he meets someone new, but that can't really happen either. So there's some romantic intrigue at play as well.
Yeah, when Greg and I were talking about the relationship between Nathan and Ingrid, his girlfriend at the beginning, who uploads him to her account, he was like, it's not that you don't like her. You guys, you have, you're attracted to each other. You have fun together. It's not a bad relationship. He's like, but at the same time, she'll probably yell at a waiter, later in your relationship, and you realize this isn't who I want to spend the rest of my life with. And Allegra, who plays Ingrid, is so funny and so kind in real life that she gets away with saying horrible things on the show, and you still kind of love her and want to see more of her. And then when I get to the digital afterlife, I meet my angel, Nora, and she just shows me kind of a different side of life, even though I'm not currently living anymore.
One more thing we wanted to ask, what are you binge watching right now? now that you're at home? I know it's the baby show is on all the time, but
Yes.
is there anything you're
Puppy Dog Pals is on in our home more than not as much as Code 8. We have that running on iPads on loop. I don't even think it does anything for our Netflix numbers, but
can't hurt to try.
my wife and I have watched some of the movies that came straight to video on demand because of the world right now. So we had a great time watching Invisible Man and The Hunt. The lead from Glow, who is in The Hunt,
Betty Gilpin, yeah, she's incredible.
Oh, she's so good in that movie. And we're gonna look for something to watch tonight. But I've been just kind of going on Netflix and Amazon Prime and watching classics, some old movies that I just hadn't seen for a little while.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely be looking out for more baby videos as well. Any other movies that you're going to maybe try to recreate, we'll keep an eye out for that as well.
We've got a couple in the pipeline, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to talk to you. And upload May 1st. We can't wait.
Thank you, Prime Video.